Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Cecilia, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Southern Silver Exploration. Please note, you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Rob McDonald, Vice President of Exploration of Southern Silver Exploration, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol SSVFF and on the TSXV under the symbol SSV. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you very much, Cecilia, and it's a pleasure to be able to present here, and thank you to the OTC for inviting us to present and to reach out to our shareholders. I'm Rob McDonald, the Vice President of Exploration for Southern Silver, and I'll be speaking to you today primarily about our Cerro Las Manitas project, which we are currently developing into the next major silver mine in Mexico. I will be making forward-looking statements as I move through the presentation. These are often aspirational in nature, and so you should be aware and warned of that. So today I will be focused primarily on the Cerro Las Manitas silver, lead, zinc project located in Durango, Mexico. This is currently one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped silver-based projects in the world, with indicated and inferred mineral resources totaling 350 million silver equivalent ounces at a high grade of 325 grams per ton silver equivalent. This breaks down into 40% in the indicated category and 60% in the inferred category. It's in a well-located silver mining district in Durango, Mexico, and we're surrounded by producing companies. Late last year in 2022, we issued a preliminary economic assessment of the project. The assessment called for a 15-year mine life with robust project economics, which are strongly leveraged to both silver and zinc pricing. It also produced high revenues and high free cash flow. We own 100% of this project, and we have over $2 million currently in the treasury that will allow us to operate at this current level well into 2024. Company catalysts looking forward is that we're working now to update the PEA. We've added new metallurgy, we've added new mineral resources, and we're building those into an updated assessment of the project. We also have some further work on the Oro project and the Hermanas project. These are located in southern New Mexico, and they're earlier stage projects than our Cerro Las Manitas project, but we continue to advance them as we move along in 2023 and into 2024. In terms of the size of Cerro Las Manitas, again, it's one of the largest and highest grade undeveloped silver-based assets in the world. And you can see where we sit in relation to our peer group in this graphic. The size of the bubble is equivalent to the relative size of the project in silver equivalent basis. The x-axis is the tonnage, so the size of the deposit, and the y-axis is the grade of the deposit. And so you can see we sit at almost like a fulcrum point between the tonnage and the grade. There are clearly some larger deposits on a tonnage basis, but because we're higher grade, we contain as much or more mineralization within those. And similarly, there are higher margin deposits, but we tend to be larger and therefore have, again, higher silver equivalency in the resource budget of the project. It's a pretty good place to be. In our capital markets profile, again, we're trading in that 16-17 cent range. The main thing to take away here is both in terms of our market capitalization and our enterprise value, they're sitting at and around $50 million Canadian. We believe that this is a severely undervalued at this time. And any speculators out there, this is probably a good time to get into the project. The valuations are underscored by our enterprise value per ounce in the ground of only 17 cents. And then the P versus NAV of only 13% or 0.13 times. And again, we believe, based on the fundamentals of the project, that we should be trading a lot higher than what we are now. Our major shareholder is Electrum Global Holdings, and we have institutional participation as well in the company. We get analyst coverage through Red Cloud Securities and Fundamental Research, as well as newsletter coverage through the Silver Stock Investor and the Caesars Report primarily. You can see the recent ratings have us valued much higher than our current level of 16 cents. And again, I would encourage all the speculators out there to look a little bit closer at the fundamentals of our company and of the Cerro Las Manitas project. We feature an experienced management team and board with a history of success, specifically in Mexico. When you look down at the resumes of the people involved with the company, you see both major world-class projects like the Peñasquito and Hemlo projects, and also projects in Mexico like San Nicolas, which was recently in the news as in the news between Teck and Agnico, as well as Nuestra Senora. This is a group of on the board and in the management that know what major projects look like. They know how to advance these projects through to a production decision, either within the companies that they're operating with, or through joint venture or sale of the project to a major that will bring the project into production for the benefit of the shareholder. And so now, looking at the project portfolio, we have two earlier stage projects in southern New Mexico. These are the Oro and the Hermanas project, Oro being a large porphyry system on the eastern side of the Arizona-New Mexico copper belt. And Hermanas, a little bit further to the east of Oro, is a large gold and silver epithermal vein deposit. And I'll touch on both of these deposits a little bit later in the presentation. But I'll focus primarily on our flagship project. It's the Cerro Las Manitas project, located in the heart of the Faja de Plata of north central Mexico. We've spent over $35 million on acquisition and exploration since initially acquiring the project in 2011. And the more recent news is the updated mineral resources and updated gold metallurgy that we're now building into an updated preliminary economic assessment on the project. The project is not done yet. We have further upside in both the exploration and on an engineering process basis to make the project look better and better as we move along. The Cerro Las Manitas project is very well located in an active exploration and development jurisdiction with superior infrastructure. You can see where we are here with two federal highways running through the project. To the south, there's a rail line that runs through the project. We have power lines running through the project. We operate the property from the town of Guadalupe, Victoria. It's located just to the south and only a 10-minute drive north into the project area where all the mineral resources are located. We have our exploration permits in place. We have excellent relationships with the local ejido, and we have our exploration and development team embedded within the actual community. Our accounting and administration are out of Parral in Mexico, legal representatives out of Chihuahua, geologists sourcing from both Querétaro and the city of Durango, and then our geotechnical crew are all sourced from the town of Guadalupe, Victoria. And this is Cerro Las Manitas. You can see one of the federal highways. It's a divided highway sitting in the foreground, and only a couple of hundred meters away are the mineral resources at the Cerro. And here at the Cerro, it's essentially a zone of skarn alteration around a more recessive central intrusive. You can see in the foreground, we have some of the local agriculture here, as well as the access into the property. We have currently identified 4 mineral deposits on the western side of the project, or of the hill, and that's to the left. And then on the right, we have now 2 mineral deposits, as well as another extension of the Mina La Bacona area, located on the eastern side, or to the right of this picture. And you can see the distribution of the mineralization on the graphic, both graphics. And then the one on the left is the surface projection of the mineralization. You can see the largest zones of mineralization are the 4 mineral deposits that we've identified on the western side of the Cerro. On the eastern side of the Cerro, we have the 3 mineral deposits that we've identified to date. In the center, in that magenta color, is a central intrusion. It acts as the heat pump of the system. It's a classic skarn system that many similar types of deposits are located throughout Mexico. The zone of green around the central intrusion is the skarn altered halo around the central intrusion, and much of the mineralization is localized within that skarn altered halo, with some mineralization located in adjacent structures to the central intrusion. And again, on the graphic to the right, you see a 3D rendering. The central intrusion is in that sort of magenta color, and the localized mineralization is in the red colors in that graphic as well. Breakdown of the mineral resources. Again, we're seeing indicated and inferred resources. 40% of the resources are in the indicated category, 60% are in the inferred category. We end up having a total of over 120 million ounces of silver within the project, and over 2.7 billion pounds of combined lead and zinc within the project. And so now looking at the PEA. And this was a product. We produced it in the end of August 2022. The economic assessment calls for a 15-year mine life with base case after-tax NPV of 349 million US dollars. That translates to $1.55 Canadian a share, and an internal rate of return of 17.9%. And in terms of base case plus 15, you can see in the lower right-hand side the base case metal values and the base case plus 15 values. In the graphic above that, in blue, I've indicated the after-tax cash flow in the base case, and in the gray, base case plus 15. The base case plus 15 now shows an after-tax NPV 5% of 560 million US, and an internal rate of return well within the 20s. This is a high revenue project generating in the base case over $3.7 billion US in revenues. And you can see in terms of the free cash flow, an average free cash flow of 11.4 an average free cash flow for the first 8 years of over $84 million, and balanced revenues between silver and zinc, with silver representing 42% of revenues and the zinc representing 39% of revenues. The initial capex is 340 million. Now, we recognize that we want to see a better ratio between your NPV and your capex. You'd prefer to, it's now at around a 1-to-1 ratio. You'd prefer to see that closer to a 1.5 or higher. Similarly, with the internal rate of return in the base case economics, we would like to see that above 20%. We think with some of the additions that we're looking at in our projected update, that we should see we should reach those milestones and those benchmarks. life of mine production is quite robust. The life of mine production is over 24 million tons, annual production 11.3 million ounces silver equivalent. That includes 4.7 million ounces of silver. And so, for mid-tier companies and major companies, 5 million ounces of silver produced a year is actually a fairly significant resource, fairly significant production. We think this is going to be attractive to intermediates and majors as we move forward, and particularly if we start seeing a rising silver and a rising zinc market. We think that there's further project upside. We've identified new mineral resources. We released those results in March, and we're adding them to the economic assessment. This previous PEA did not include any gold values. We've updated our gold metallurgy. We're currently working the payables, gold payables, into the PEA, and we will be looking at ore sorting as a means of updating the economics or upgrading the economics on the project as well. And so we're seeing adding additional revenues. We've added the North Fell site. There remains exploration potential in the North Skarn and down dip extensions of the eastern deposits. An easy way to grow the project once we finish the PEA. Engineering upgrades. We're looking at higher payables subsets in the mine production scenario. We're looking at constraining the capital costs, and we've been successful in that. We've conducted an audit of the original PEA, and we see some room for constraining the capital costs of the project. Updating the process flow sheet, adding in gold, as well as some new metallurgical results, and then looking at ore sorting as we move forward as well. And you can see with respect to the base case that the various sensitivities, with the main sensitivities being silver and zinc price, can have a pretty significant effect on increasing the NPV of the project. Other things may be looking at the initial capital. As you constrain that also increases the NPV quite significantly. So there's a number of triggers that we're looking at, that we're building in to our work moving forward. In terms of exploration potential, we believe that there's the potential to further extend mineralization. We know that on the western side of the Cerro, we have mineralization extending over a kilometer depth. On the eastern side, we're really only seeing around 450, 500 meters depth. We've identified 3 mineralized chutes, and these are open at depth for further exploration. And you can see that laid out in this additional graphic, where you see the extent of mineralization on the western side down here on the lower right. And then the area of further exploration potential down dip of the known deposits, South Skarn, La Bacona, and North Fell site on the eastern side of the Cerro. We believe this is a clear exploration pathway to grow this to a 40 million ton deposit. And we think that at that level and at that size, the project becomes now more desirable for some of the big integrated miners, the ones with their own mills, their own smelters. And so we believe this is an excellent pathway forward as we continue to grow the value of the Cerro Las Manitas project. So what we've done now in terms of continuing on the pathway to production, we have our permitting parameters established. Environmental and hydrology baseline studies are in progress. We continue our both social and government engagement. We've established budgeting for the infill drilling, and we've completed further metallurgical test work that has given us some very encouraging gold results. We've completed the mineral resource update. We've evaluated the gold recovery, and now we're looking at the impact in the cash flow model, and so that's in progress and part of the current update that we're pursuing. We've updated the engineering design. That's in progress, and again will be built into the updated PEA. And we are looking at ore sorting, which again will be looked as an opportunity section within the current PEA. And so very quickly, I've only got about 10 minutes left here, but I'll very quickly get into Oro and Hermanas. These projects are located in southern New Mexico, very near the border with Mexico. We have our Oro project, a large property package that we drilled in 2022, 2023. We had some encouraging drill results. It caused us to add 62 claims to the project. And so we've identified some new targeting and are in the process of updating the permits and getting ready for drilling in 2024. Similarly with Hermanas, we're now in the process of permitting for drilling in 2024. This would be a relatively short, small program, an RC program, only about $500,000 program. And we're looking forward to getting on that in 2024. So why Southern Silver? We have diverse assets and a property package with exposures to both precious and base and EV metals. We have some excellent PEA results, which highlight robust asset value within the CLM project with continued upside. Catalyst within Q1 2024 is the updated PEA. We're working on it now, and we should have something produced in the January, February timeframe. So again, look forward to Q1 2024. And then ongoing, we have new targeting at Oro to continue upgrading that project. And then Hermanas, we're looking at drilling in 2024. Okay, thank you very much. That's the presentation right now. And it looks like we have a couple of questions here. And the first question is inquires onto our relationship with our largest shareholder, being the Electrum Global Holdings. Electrum got involved with the project in 2015. We have known a number of their people, both on the exploration and the corporate side, for quite a time before that, and we had associations with that group. But they liked the project back in 2015. They optioned originally. Decided to come in and fund the project, but given where our share price was, we felt that the best way forward was to take an interest in the project. So they took a 60% interest in the project, and they continued funding the project for a number of years after initially coming and getting involved. In around 2019, they were looking that they wanted to deploy their money elsewhere in some other projects, including their Los Gatos mine that they were looking to build at that time, as well as the Guanajuato Silver Project, which they're continuing to explore. We saw the opportunity at that time to purchase their interest in the project, which we did. At that time, we raised money both in 2020 and 2021 to complete that purchase. We're now 100% owners of the project. Electrum remain have about a 30% interest in the company. They remain a supportive shareholder with Peter Cheeseborough is on the board, and so they are very, very happy with how we're continuing to advance the project. They think that the asset has value, and are looking to continue growing the project with us. In terms of the updated PEA, what are the key milestones? The key milestones right now is to get this the NPV versus the capital cost well above 1.5 times ratio, and to get the internal rate of return well into the mid 20s, maybe within the high 20s. And we think that we've brought together the pieces that can do that, and we think that and particularly as we're seeing potentially certainly silver increase in value, and as the world economies get out of the recessions, we should start seeing zinc prices both increase as well. That we think in the rising silver and zinc market that this can be a tremendous opportunity for all of the investors out there. The next question, are you seeing an increase in the M&A in junior mining space? And then will you take Cerro Las Menitas into production? We have seen a little bit more activity. I think we saw a purchase of a nearby mine just recently, La Paria, and we are starting to see a little bit more with companies looking at other juniors and maybe trying to take them out. And so to answer the second part of the question, we are primarily explorationists, and we're looking to continue de-risking the project and building value into the project so that it will become attractive to a mid-tier or major, down the road. We think that we can do that both on the technical basis and that we can do that on the basis in a rising precious and base metal market. And we believe those are the opportunities. We think in terms of the base case scenario that I've outlined in this presentation, that we are well on our way to reaching the milestones that I indicated earlier, and that we think that in a rising precious metal market, certainly silver and gold market, that we can see increased value, underlying value to this project, and a greater attraction to some of the major miners out there. And the goals for the New Mexico projects in 2024, we're probably at this time looking for a partner with the Oro project. Some of that is deeper drilling, and we think that it can be attractive to other players. We recently announced that there were some rare earth element values, interesting values in some of the drilling at Oro. Probably not an REE deposit, but you could see it as contributing to the value of the project. I think that's attracted a little bit more attention right now from maybe some majors. And then we all know that it's a copper project, and that everyone anticipates copper to significantly increase in value in the coming years. And this may be a good opportunity or a good project for a major to get involved with a North American-based copper project with some interesting rare earth credits. At Hermanas, we have not drilled Hermanas yet. We would like to get the first sets of drill holes in there. We are in the process of permitting that program. We should have that within the next couple of months and be ready, once we raise some additional money, and not a lot, is needed to go forward and do an initial drill program at Hermanas, and that at that point we can kind of take stock of where we are and how we want to move the project forward on that basis. So I think that's about all the questions now. That's about my time. I've got probably a little bit over a minute left. In that time, I'd just simply like to thank the OTC again for the opportunity to present here, to thank you all from coming online and listening to the presentation. I can be reached, at any time if you have any further questions, and you can, and as well, just a reminder, we trade on the TSX Venture Exchange under the ticker SSV, and the OTCQX under SSVFF as well. And I'll just leave you with the vista in the photograph above, and this is the area around the Cerro Las Menitas project. We're out on the Altiplano. We're out in the middle of the bean fields. It's a very safe jurisdiction to be working in, very scenic, and logistics. It's like real estate: location, 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 and we certainly have a great location here. Thank you very much.